not uncommon for us to be asked, or that we often work with our clients on the ability for them to pause effectively. The typical reason as to why we work with our clients with respect to pausing is the ability to help them sometimes gather their thoughts ahead of time so that they can structure their thoughts and not just sound overly extemporaneous and therefore unstructured. Or it could be because we're helping them just be able to not fill the silence with filler language like ums and ahs and you knows, etc. Or it could be just to be able to give the audience a chance to be able to take a moment to, if you will, recall as well as process, as well as file away what was just said. But it's an opportunity for the audience to just have a break. So these are some of the typical reasons why pauses are encouraged. There's one other very specific reason as to why we believe pauses are an imperative, especially for people at senior levels. And that has to do with this notion of executive gravitas. It's not uncommon when we're called into a situation where our clients will turn around and say to us, hey, can you help me or help a certain executive have greater presence and or gravitas? And it's almost always discussed as if the two, presence and gravitas, mean the same thing, but they don't. Presence, from a distinction perspective, is the ability to be seen, whereas gravitas, as a distinction, is the ability to be felt. So presence has a lot to do with how you show up, the energy you have about you that grabs other people's attention. That's presence. Gravitas is this thing that has people want to sit up, need to pay more attention to you because they can feel your existence, if you will. So presence has a lot to do with the physical attributes, the energy you provide as you walk into a room and so on. And gravitas has to do more with the tension that you create when you walk into a room. Now, there's always positive and negative tension, and the negative is just tension being used inappropriately. When tension is used appropriately, that's positive tension, and it absolutely has an impact on your gravitas. Pausing has an incredible ability to raise your gravitas quotient, because it typically creates the right level of tension for people to sit up, for people to say something serious or sincere or important is just about to be said. So the ability to pause, the ability to hold silence, the ability to create that tension, if you will, in the silence, can absolutely have an impact on people's experience of your gravitas. It is akin, the pausing that is akin to your ability to actually also be able to pace yourself well. So one last anecdote just to bring the point home. For those of you who have kids or have been around kids who are around 7 or 8 years old, typically when they walk into a room, they're so enthusiastic and excited and have so much energy. And so when they talk really fast and they have a lot to say with a lot of emphasis and a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy. Older, more mature or wiser people typically take their time. They hold the silence a bit longer before they start talking. When they talk, they don't feel the need to be rushed. They measure themselves, typically being far more purposeful and meaningful, if you will, in the words they use and how they deliver the content. That exudes gravitas. In a person or layperson's mind, when they see somebody speaking really fast with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, that definitively has presence, but they also sometimes calibrate that individual as potentially less mature, perhaps less seasoned, less tenured, because we're programmed, if you will, to think of that energy as more youthful. Those who take their time, labor, if you will, a little bit over what they're going to say before they actually say it, as in pause, and then say it in a measured way, come across and are experienced as the more seasoned individual with greater gravitas. That is singularly one of the more critical reasons as to why to pause.